Oh, come on! You're here. Is that time already? I only just sat down from the last one. Okay. Let me just quickly download some third-hand information and 100% accurate assumptions from the network. Got it. Well, it's happening. The overwhelmingly positive reception to the removal of protected qualifying status and levelling of the playing field is starting to turn sour. It turns out if you make things fair for everyone, sometimes a poor, unknown, undeserving privateer racer puts together an unreal qualifying run and really punts out one of the fan favourites from the qualifying rounds. How dare they? Does that privateer not realise how damaging that is for the shareholders of that professional racers team sponsors? I joke, but that is actually a legitimate concern, and more than a few people have said, let's see what happens when Bruni doesn't make it into the final. It'll certainly be interesting, and I have seen some opinions popping up which support increasing the number of qualified riders or changing the ratio of qualifiers from Q1 and Q2, but honestly, I feel like we don't have enough data yet to figure out what changes should be made, if any. As these initial changes have shown, real changes have rippling effects that are hard to predict. Let's keep the discussion going and make sure it's constructive, and I'm sure the best ideas will flow to the top and potentially make their way back to the organisers. One of the big debates after Leogang is about the gradual simplification of some courses, which has made times tighter and gives the best bike handlers less room to differentiate themselves from the rest of the pack. I haven't formed a solid opinion yet, but it does seem like giving racers a higher percentage of technical, challenging terrain would spread out the field and give the fan favourite top pros more opportunity to build a time buffer in the qualification rounds in case of little mistakes or mechanicals. Plus, I want to see technical wizardry, not just berm blasting bravery. And on that topic, Val Di Sole has some new sections for this round. Ricardo Vende posted an excellent preview of them on the Val Di Sole Bikeland YouTube page, which is linked in the description. The track builders have cleared some raw, fresh sections that will give the riders some fresh ground to survey, dissect and destroy. It's this kind of change that favours the best of the best and is also just great to watch. You know, we'll be trackside to figure out what's going on and show you who's getting things figured out the best. You know what would make things a little less tight in qualifying? These new fresh sections, plus some good old European mountainous afternoon thunderstorms, which are forecast for every single day of the week. It's a coin flip whether they'll actually happen, but the racers are getting used to the stress of uncertainty, so they won't mind adding another stressor to the pile. In rider news, it looks like Nina Hoffmann has been given the all clear to ride her bicycle in Italy this week, which is great news after her wall ride escapades the other week. The top female elites are making a break for it in the overall standings, so hopefully Nina can have more success this weekend and tighten things up at the top. She'll be hard pressed to catch the on-form Canadian Gracie Hemstreet though, who is now leading the overall after winning the last two rounds. Gracie has been dominant in the recent race runs, but has been a bit more reserved in qualifying, which has left some valuable series points on the table. And for that reason, Tahnée Seagrave is still snapping at her heels, only 15 points back. Hopefully a week of rest will have helped Tahnේe's shoulder injury from round 2, as this track here in Italy demands a lot from the upper body. She did win here last year though, so she knows what it takes. Another woman that won here last year by considerable margin too is Ellie Hulsbach. We haven't seen the best from her yet this year, but the fiercely competitive and strong racer from New Zealand will surely be a favourite to take this round. Oh, come on! Yes!
You get that?
Good, right, I did. No news on our competitor Lena Frenner since her crash in Leogang that caused her to sit out on the race, but I'm hoping she gets the all clear as the battle between those two, plus last round's winner Rosa Zierl, who's now leading the series, and also Elitha Osgaard. I mean, that is really heating up. The competition is firing and the racing is exciting with those junior girls. And the same can be said for the other young guns. The junior men have been delivering on the excitement this season with way more potential race winners than we thought possible before things kicked off. Max Alran and Asa Vermette were the known quantities, with race fans ready and expecting to see them on the top step. But then the Southern Hemisphere comes in swinging with the Yeti boys, Tyler Waite and Jonty Williamson, showing race-winning pace on those turquoise rigs. But it was Big Ollie Clark that would get the first slice of gold for the Kiwis at the last race, showing that the depth of talent coming up through juniors is growing every year. I mean, we saw Asa found some smooth consistency in Liugang the other week. Will he continue, or will he start to add back a bit of pace to try and get his first win of the year? Not sure if that'll be too soon, but what I do know is Max Alran won here last year, he's winning the series this year, and he'd probably quite like to win again, which is absolutely a strong possibility. Amaury Pierron did some naughty things at this venue last year with one of the most insane runs that race fans have witnessed in a long time, when he won the race by around 5 seconds. Amaury's not had the start to the year that he wants, with no wins, a couple podiums and a disappointing 14th at the last round. But despite this, he's still third in the overall and one of only 3 elite men to have stood on the podium twice this year. Just so happens, the other two are just in front of Amaury in the overall. One of those riders is Jackson Goldstone, who has won in Val Di Sole before as a first-year elite and also happened to have won the last 2 rounds of the World Cup. I'd say he's the favourite going into this round, which is crazy considering how strong Mike Bruni came out swinging at the opening round, and that Bruni is currently the series leader. I couldn't call this round honestly, but I am very excited about being there trackside to capture it all, which won't be the case for much longer. I've been trying to figure out the best way to announce this, but I guess Up to Speed is probably the best place. I will be attending the next 3 rounds of the World Cup before the summer break. Then I will be taking a step back from on-site reporting. I tried to keep my family life quite private, but I've got a fantastic wife and 2 kids at home who have been so great at dealing with daddy being away for a lot of the summer. But with my son going to school this year, the challenging logistics of childcare with my wife working a 9 to 5, and the fact that I miss out on so much when I'm away, traveling to the World Cups just doesn't make sense for me anymore, and I'm actually quite excited to be able to be a more consistent and present dad going forward. But where does that leave the Pinkbike downhill racing content? Well, I've been working really hard on 2 things. Building out the hardware systems and processes to allow me to attempt to create timely content remotely, and trying to find someone who can throw themselves into the on-site World Cup video creation with new angles, new perspectives, and new energy. And I'm genuinely excited about the opportunities here, as I can still focus on making the analytical breakdowns, up to speed, story the race vids, while also having someone with much better people skills and interviewer ability to bring the racer-focused insights that I just suck at. But who? Honestly, I don't know yet. The skill set for this job does not normally coexist within one individual, and the ones that have, most probably, are still racing. We've got a few interesting candidates lined up who are going to be guest presenters for videos and segments over the next few rounds to test things out, and I'm excited to see how that goes. Just remember, whoever we get to do this will be learning on the job, and hopefully we'll do things totally differently to how I would. Please be kind, please be welcoming, and please go and update your fantasy team for the next round, because I know you forgot last time. You forgot. Come on, link in the description, go do it, and I'll see you in Italy. That's done.